Episode 9 is set to bring a return of the iconic character in the Star Wars franchise, Luke Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing to me about Episode 9, what really fascinates me is, of course, exactly how is J.J. Abrams really going to tie this movie into the prequels, the originals, and other mediums of the Star Wars franchise, such as books, novels, video games, and comics. This movie is actually said to cater to pretty much every single Star Wars fan out there in order for it to be completely successful. Now, could that be a major indicator that this movie is going to be too crowded? Maybe, perhaps. However, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, when it comes to the character of Luke Skywalker, it's been said that J.J. Abrams is going to introduce a power for the character of Luke Skywalker that was never shown or told in EU/Legends material and or under the Disney canon. And this is honestly really piquing my interest when it comes to Episode 9. Exactly what kind of power is Luke Skywalker going to use in Episode 9, either in the flesh or in the form of a Force ghost in this movie? Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams has a ton of tricks up his sleeve, and when it comes to a brand new power by Luke Skywalker, we saw a great example of this in The Last Jedi, which was of course called the Force projection technique that Rian Johnson took from the EU and Legends material. Now, that is actually something that we saw in the Dark Empire comic book. Now in Episode 9, JJ is going to be creating his own power for the character of Luke Skywalker. Now, whether or not this is going to be Luke using this power in the form of, let's say, for example, a Force ghost, or Luke while he was alive in the form of a flashback and or a vision, that's a huge question for sure. We really don't know exactly what type of Luke Skywalker will actually use this new power that J.J. Abrams will actually be incorporating into Episode 9. Now, I will say that I'm always up for new elements for the character of Luke. We have heard numerous times that this movie is really going to deliver when it comes to the character of Skywalker. There will be a lot of revelations made for the characters of Rey, Kylo, and Luke that'll make us look at the past two films in a different way, as well as the originals and the prequels. So, this movie does have a lot going for it as of right now. It really does, have a lot of opportunity for success, and I think that as long as Disney and Lucasfilm, JJ and crew get it right and knock it out of the park, this could very well be the film that stands on its own from the past two movies, that of course being The Force Awakens, a film in which it did actually play it safe, and then in The Last Jedi, I felt it was just too different of a Star Wars movie. Now Episode 9 will conclude this trilogy by also, giving us a new story that's not entirely latched onto Luke Skywalker or any of the legacy characters, and more focused on Rey and Kylo Ren, but at the same time will be very nostalgic while also including fan service. So, Luke's new power, that's a huge question here now, isn't it? What kind of power could J.J. Abrams really put into this movie that has never been done in EU/Legends material and or under the Disney canon that Luke either, has or hasn't used? Now, I think, what they could possibly do is that they're going to do something with Luke Skywalker in the form of a Force ghost. That's the only thing that I can really think about, is that they're expanding the idea of Force ghosts and what they can do. We saw a great example of this in The Last Jedi, where Yoda actually manipulates the weather and causes lightning to strike the tree library on Ahch-To, right? And prior to this, we would have never thought about Force ghosts being able to cause lightning, right, in the mortal world. So with Luke Skywalker now being a Force ghost and quite possibly being the strongest Force ghost in history, JJ really does have a lot of, opportunities here of what he could do with the concept of a Force ghost of Luke Skywalker and what kind of powers he could actually give Luke. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if it's never been told in EU and or Legends material and or within the Disney canon, this sounds like it's going to be a power that comes directly from J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio's minds, and putting that into the overall story of this movie. Now, what do you guys think about the character of Luke so far? What are your share hopes and, you know, dreams about what's going to be done in this movie for the character of Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill. Now, of course, he's coming back in the form of a Force ghost and flashback sequences. I know a lot of people want to have him come back to life. That would be amazing. And you know what? To me, that truly would be a superpower, wouldn't it? That would be the ultimate power by Luke, where he's able to come back to life at will. That would truly knock a lot of fans, like, you know, at a surprise there. They would just be, like, so shocked. But I would really have to say that if they're going to go too far when it comes to, you know, incorporating powers into Force Ghosts, I think at that point in time, it may bother a lot of fans out there, because if you look at the concept of Force Ghosts in the original trilogy, that's all they really were, right? Force Ghosts. And now in the sequel trilogy, they're kind of evolving the whole thought about the Force Ghost idea of Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and of course Luke Skywalker by having these powers. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.